Hunting fish. Not all cats obey the code all the time. For where there are young cats and a set of rules to break, there's always mischief brewing. Ouch! You're stuck in my foot! Sorry, puffed Appletail. I thought it was a pebble. Since when do pebbles have fur? Demanded White-Eye, shaking her paw. She turned so that starlight glowed in her remaining eye. The other had been clawed out by a badger when she was an apprentice, blinding her. Dappletail wriggled up beside her, on the side where White-Eye could see. Are we at the river? She mewed. White-Eye shifted to make room under the ferns. Yep. Look. Ahead of them, the ground was covered with small gray stones, sloping down to the thick black water that flowed swiftly sparkling with reflected stars. It's kind of spooky at night, Dappletail whispered, shrinking back against White-Eye's sturdy shoulder. White-Eye gave her a nudge. We'll be fine, she assured her. There was no way she was going back to the camp now. This was the biggest adventure she'd ever had. In fact, it was probably the biggest adventure any ThunderClan cat had had. They didn't need to take RiverClan's prey. It was Greenleaf, and the woods were thrumming with juicy birds and squirrels, but White-Eye wanted to know what fish tasted like and why RiverClan was so snooty about its prey being the best of all the clans. Dappletail jumped onto a flattened rock at the edge of the river and peered into the water. I don't see any fish, she whispered. Do you think they've gone to sleep? White-Eye huffed impatiently as she squeezed onto the rock beside her. Fish don't sleep. They must, Dappletail argued, otherwise they'd be really tired. Well, maybe some of them are awake. White-Eye wriggled forward until her front legs dangled over the water. Dappletail eyed her dubiously. Is that how RiverClan cats catch fish? You look like you're almost to fall in. Look! White-Eye strained her neck out, her whiskers quivering with the effort. There's something over there. She tensed her hindquarters, and before Dappletail could say anything, she leaped off the rock with her front paws outstretched and plummeted into the water with an enormous splash. Dappletail sprang back, blinking as drops flew into her eyes. She shook her head and stared at the river. The current flowed as swiftly as ever, but now it was carrying White-Eye, gasping and scrabbling to keep her head above the surface. White-Eye! Dappletail wailed. Come back! I'm trying! Came the muffled reply. There was another splash, and White-Eye's head bobbed under a wave as the water swept her around a rock. Dappletail stood on the shore, her tail bristling with shock. Help! She owled. White-Eye reappeared further downstream. Don't! We're here! She spluttered. Get into trouble! But you're drowning! Dappletail shrieked. Help! Somewhere in the forest, an owl hooted, but there was no sound of any cat coming to help. Dappletail looked at the swift black river, took a deep breath, and ran into the waves. The water was so cold she couldn't breathe. Waves slapped around her, cutting her off from either shore and filling her ears with a deafening hiss. Swimming's just like running, but in water, right? She entangled her legs and tried to move them as she were walking on grass. But as soon as she hauled herself upright in the water, she sank and had to scrabble back to the surface, gasping for air. This was the worst idea White-Eye had ever had. What in the name of Starkland is going on? An angry voice sounded above Dappletail's head, and she floundered around to see who was speaking. A brown and white Tom was standing on a rock on the RiverClan side of the river, his eyes huge as moons. Help! Dappletail yowled. Before a wave filled her mouth and made her cough, another cat appeared beside the first one. Owlfur, it's clearly not out for a nighttime swim. You'd better go fish it out before it drowns. The brown and white Tom slid into the water, and his small head began bobbing steadily toward Dappletail. She kept her mouth shut and flailed with her paws, trying to stay in the same place. She winced as the Tom clamped his jaws tightly in the scruff of her neck, and she felt herself being dragged through the water toward the shore. Her paws scraped against the stones, and she staggered out with most of the river streaming from her fur. My grandmate! She coughed. She twitched her tail downward. She's still in there! Mouse brains, hissed the second cat. He braced his thick-pelted gray shoulders and headed for the river. Owlfur, you stay here and make sure this featherhead doesn't try to follow me. He broke into a run and disappeared into the river, his pace staying the same even when he started swimming. You're from ThunderClan, aren't you? Oliver meowed disapprovingly. Dappletail nodded, her whiskers heavy with drops. Let me guess, you were trying to steal our fish. Dappletail's head drooped even lower. Sorry, she muttered. The brown and white Tom hissed, then raised his head. Looks like Hailstar found your clanmate. He meowed. Hailstar? Oh, great, we've been rescued by the leader of RiverClan. Dappletail, look! Noisy splashing behind her made Dappletail turn around. White-Eye was stumbling out of the water with Hailstar shoving her from behind. Her pelt was slick to her sides and her ears looked huge against her wet head. But her eyes shone as she dropped a twitching silver fish onto the stones. I caught a fish! Hailstar rolled his eyes. You squashed it against a rock, he corrected, and it wasn't yours to catch in the first place. His eyes narrowed. You're trespassing and stealing. What do you have to say about that? Hey, are those our missing ThunderClan warriors? There was a shout from across the river on the far shore. Pinestar and his deputy, Sunfall, were standing on the edge of the water, their fur frosted by starlight. We caught some unusual prey tonight, Hailstar called back. Why not come across and see if it suits your appetite better? The ThunderClan cats ran along the shore and jumped across the stepping stones, clearly visible in the low Greenleaf River. Dappletail glanced sideways at White-Eye as they waited for their clan leader to arrive. I am never, ever listening to you again, she hissed. The four older cats stood in a line in front of Dappletail and White-Eye and surveyed them. Just how many rules of the warrior code did you want to break tonight? Pinestar began. Trespassing, stealing prey, catching food for yourself. I wanted to see what fish tasted like, White-Eye mumbled. Pinestar leaned closer to her. We are from ThunderClan, he growled. We don't eat fish. Owlfur stepped forward. Wait, I have an idea. Since these mouse brains seem so determined to be RiverClan cats, why not let them eat their first kill? After all, White-Eye caught it. Dappletail looked up in surprise. Weren't they going to be punished? Pinestar's eyes gleamed. What a good idea, Owlfur! White-Eye, Dappletail, eat up. Don't waste a scrap, or that would be very insulting to your hosts. White-Eye didn't wait to be asked again. She opened her mouth wide and sank her jaws into the fish that just behind its head, feeling very uncomfortable with the other cats watching. Dappletail crouched by the tail of the fish and took a bite. Yuck! Both cats sprang up, their lips curling. Wet, cold, slimy, tasting of stones and weeds and mud. Hailstar cocked his head on one side. What's the matter? It's disgusting! White-Eye spluttered. Sunfall looked shocked. You can't say that when RiverClan is so generously letting you eat your catch. Dappletail forced herself to swallow and concentrated very hard on not being sick. Please don't make us eat any more, she meowed. Pinestar looked at them both. The warrior code exists for a reason. ThunderClan cats don't eat fish, don't catch fish, don't swim, don't have anything to do with the river at all. RiverClan cats don't eat squirrels, so they don't live in the woods. ShadowClan cats don't eat rabbits, so they don't live on the moor. Hailstar spoke up. I think nearly being drowned is enough of a lesson for now. Go back to your clan and leave the fish to us. White-Eye nodded hard. No more fishing, she promised. No more adventures, ever, Dappletail meowed. ThunderClan cats are ate ThunderClan fish to kill. As far as she cared, RiverClan cats could have all the fish in the world.